Hi everyone, welcome to our new episode of in Dynatrace Observability Connect series. We are here with Miloš to talk about our platform features introduced in version 290. Hi Miloš, it's great to see you again. How are you doing?
Thank you very much, Berkan. Hello, everyone. I'm doing fine, thank you. Thanks for having me.
As far as I see, we have a couple of features for today.
Mhm.
So if you are ready, let's take a look at our agenda items and see what we have introduced in this version.
Right.
So before that, of course, we have our couple of topics we'd like to go through before the features. The first one is the playground environments. This is an environment where you can see how Dynatrace helps you with your observability and security use cases with various technology integrations. And the next part, the main focus of the session, is product updates. Miloš is will be covering the version 290 features in this part. And the last part is the community and resources, where you can engage with different Dynatrace teams through our community channels and live chats or support center. Miloš, can you please go to the next slides? In Dynatrace, in our platform, we have more than 100 built-in use cases where you can find in various categories. In this image, for example, in this slide, I can see that we have like digital experience use cases, we have monitoring, release monitoring, development use cases. So basically, end-to-end for your organization, you can find end-to-end use case capabilities in Dynatrace. And to see these use case details, we have a documentation where we go through step by step by addressing the exact teams that needs these use cases. I think this is pretty useful, so I would really recommend you to check this documentation. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to our teams for more details, of course. Next slide, please. To start those use cases or to see what is available in Dynatrace, you can always use our playground tenants. If you are new to Dynatrace and you don't have a trial account yet, or you don't have a user account, you just need to click on this link and sign up for a trial. If you have a trial account or user account, it's easy for you. Just simply click on the link below, provided in the second step, and then you can analyze and discover what type of integrations we have in Dynatrace and several use cases. And the last part, you will have lots of tutorials to go through in details and get familiar with our platform. Next slide, please. In this section, you see the overview of the new features we introduced in this version. And now Miloš will talk about this and explain us what type of improvements we have in this parts.
Mhm.
I think it's all on yours, Miloš.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Berkan, for the nice introduction. Yeah, let us start right away. What is ahead of us with version 290? Yeah, let's start strong with our new DQL features. First of all, there are two new DQL functions, being entity attribute and entity name. They work in a similar manner as we will see in a couple of moments in our hands-on part. Apart from these, there is also now support for outer join. So now with the join command, we can define the kind of join command supporting inner joins. This is the default one. Left outer join, and coming with 290, so today's release, also outer join. And last but not least, we can now also query with DQL self-monitoring metrics. The same way we can query all other metrics with DQL. Yeah, so self-monitoring, one more step of possibility. So with that said, let us check out what it looks like. Yeah, first of all, again, in the Notebooks app in our Playground environment, this will be shared with you. Yeah, how does the how do the new DQL functions work? Basically, simple example here, just charting here the host CPU, idle host CPU, split by host, and then here in line 2, we're adding a new field using the new function to return the attribute tag from the entity DT entity host. And yeah, in the result, this is what it looks like. here are the tags. And what I'm also doing here, showing with the entity name function the name of the DT entity. In this case, it's a host. Yeah. Time series, of course, the same can be used for logs, events, biz events. Here, I just did the same basically with logs. Could also be done with other attributes here in this example. For example, we are fetching the monitoring mode. That's an attribute well known that comes with the host. So now here in the results, we see, of course, we're pulling logs, showing here the log content. And in line 3, we decided we want to see next to the content also the timestamp and our two attributes. In this case, monitoring mode, it's full stack. And yeah,
Mhm.
the host name, it's that one here, fetched here with the new function.
Before that, it was possible
So
with the lookup commands, right?
exactly,
Now it will be
exactly,
easier.
yeah, exactly. Pretty much the capability of this was already existent in the past. We could have done it with lookup or even join. But this is now, I think,
Mhm.
pretty straightforward and a lot quicker, a lot nicer to
Okay,
look at.
okay, I see it. And also, I got this that I did it from Milos, and I pretend now that it's my my opinion on this, but Milos is really expert in this DQL, so he exactly knows the value of this command. So it's nice. Nice to hear this. Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, quick example of the join command. So yeah, here we are joining this first three lines. We are joining here based on the key, and if you run the query like this, then yeah, of course, in the left table A, there is no equivalent key in the right table, so the inner join, that's the default one, won't have it in the results. So what we can do now is here define the kind of this join, and the system already suggests us inner is the default one, left outer, for example, if you run left outer, it will now also involve in the result the key from the left table. Of course, the right key will be null since it doesn't exist here, no A.
Hmm.
And what is actually new is the outer join. Yeah, of course, grabbing now
Hmm.
left and right side, and here we have ED doesn't exist in table left. Yeah, here null, and here is D and A as well. So outer join, simple example.
If for the ones who are not familiar with this command, maybe from SQL or Dynatrace, I think it is useful for it's useful to find the unmatched values from different tables, right? So it will be helpful to complete the data or identify inaccurate analysis. With this way, with the null value, for example, we see now everything in one place in the single table, and that will be helpful to reduce the inaccuracy on the data analysis, as far as I see.
Hmm. Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah. So basic join command. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, last but not least, um, we just created here a new section. I think we presented that already in one of our previous sessions, the graphical DQL, as I like to call it. Just here exploring metrics can also be done with logs. Just to showcase that we can now here also search for self-monitoring metrics and start them in notebooks, in the dashboards. Yeah, of course, you can all, since this is based on DQL, you can, by going here on the three dots, create a DQL section. This way you will translate this graphical input into DQL to further work on that. So basically, we did the same here again, fetching the time series, again, self-monitoring metric, and I just applied here a filter if more than 300 seconds, 5 minutes, basically. Yeah, nothing extraordinary, just to showcase we can fetch now self-monitoring metrics as well with DQL.
Okay. Does it mean we have all these classic metrics in Grail now, or
Uh,
we have some of the metrics are available?
we are getting close. With each new release, more and more metrics are available in Grail. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, not all the metrics are still there, especially when it comes to RAM stuff, RAM
Hmm.
in global. But It's in strong development. It will be there
Okay,
soon.
I think it's important to know that with the prefix of DT, SFM would be enough for it to list all the available metrics with self-monitoring for now.
Hmm
Okay, looks good. It's definitely good.
Okay. Exactly. Let us continue. What else do we have? So yeah, please try it out here. And this will link. This is linked to the notebook we just saw a moment ago. A couple of maybe minor news. I think the first one was already mentioned in the previous release as well. Yeah, it's about the duration data type that it's rounded up. It's formatted to start with the largest unit, and then it's rounded to 2 digits. Here, for example. Um, what else do we have? This one is maybe a little bit more prominent in with the first glance. Variables, which we can define on the new dashboards app, can now be created so that they are dependent on other variables. Basically, variable A will be automatically recalculated if the value of variable B changes. Of course, if A is dependent on B. So this is pretty nice. An example use case that comes to my mind is when in the financial sector, for example, we have interest rates, just dropping here house numbers, and depending on the interest rate, we have other variables. And then by changing the interest rate, all the other variables are automatically recalculated. A limitation or something that's not supported here is to create loops. Of course, this would be then an endless loop. Yeah, so basically, if variable A depends on B, B can't depend on A. So yeah, just to avoid here, uh, while one loop.
It might create inconsistency, right? In that case.
Yes,
Nice.
this is forbidden. So yeah, would be
Okay.
an endless circle. What else do we have? We have this is great. We have .NET support for runtime vulnerability analytics and runtime application protection. So now .NET is alongside the Java 8 plus support, so everything from Java 8 and above. It's supported with the code level vulnerability analytics, for example. And of course, since the vulnerability detection is supported, it only makes sense to also support it in the attack protection, basically answering the question, who is actually exploiting the vulnerabilities here? Yeah, when we are attacking questions like this, then we are here in the frame of application protection, and both are now supported with .NET. Uh, yeah, so I think that's pretty cool
And again,
feature.
for the new users, maybe it's worth to mention, you can always enable these security modules at process group levels. So you don't need to enable for all of your applications and in all your environments. You can test it first in your application and see how it works, and then continue the configuration at large scale. So this is always possible with Dynatrace. With many modules, let's say, not 100% modules, of course, but with many modules, this would be the approach you can try. And I just also wanted to mention here.
Hmm And I'm pretty confident there are more technologies in the pipeline as well, and I'm looking forward to presenting them as well.
That's
Mm.
good.
One more topic when it comes to AppSec, application security. It's the launch of the new Vulnerabilities app. That's the icon you can start looking for in the new platform, or simply searching for vulnerabilities. And the goal of that is to have one new starting point of searching the vulnerabilities. Sorry, allowing us to filter here, creating filters as we are already used from other applications. Setting here the filter to up here below than the list. Let us see together what this looks like. First of all, let me start here with the old application security overview. Maybe it's a bit more familiar to our more experienced users. The first two tabs here allow us to change between third-party vulnerabilities coming from SNCC, for example, and our code level vulnerabilities. Since in today's focus are especially here the .NET support that's new, we should focus here on code level vulnerabilities. We can view all of them by clicking this button here. In this example here, unfortunately or luckily, we don't have .NET vulnerabilities, but here we could now filter for .NET. I don't have. So yeah, in this case, Java. Um, yeah. Anyway, this is the vulnerability detection. When clicking on a vulnerability, you can go from here, checking here. So first, we have here a lot of information about the vulnerability. But this is what I'm wanting to present here in the frame of the release notes. We can see the attacks, who is exploiting, what are the attack paths of this vulnerability, and by hitting this button here, we can then change the application to the attack protection application, where again, when clicking here, allowing us, okay, of course, in this case, the vulnerability ID is taken since we are coming from the existing vulnerability. But in the attacks application, you could again, of course, now filter for .NET. So yeah, .NET is now fully supported. So everything that we saw application-wise here existed already. What is new is the vulnerabilities app. Yeah, you can find it by searching for vulnerability. Um, Here it is in the global search. And yeah, as teased already before, it's still in development, so you maybe not yet see it right now, but you will definitely in a couple of days, weeks. It's a preview here. Yeah, I think most of these things are self-explanatory. Allows us to filter by status, by risk level. We can add more filters here, and technology again, allowing us to filter here technologies. Please don't confuse, not all of these are code level. Some of these are third-party vulnerabilities. This is why we see more technologies here. Apart from that, yeah, we can even change here the table format, adding columns, technology, or removing columns. Yeah, nice app. I'm pretty happy to announce this.
Looks pretty handy, definitely. Maybe Milos to talk about the power of Dynatrace here in this security area. So maybe a couple of use cases mentioned to mention especially the new users. In Dynatrace, once you have one agent, you will have the topology mapping in general, is you might be familiar. And with this topology mapping and with this vulnerability application or security capabilities, we can easily address or we can identify in what part of your application at runtime level that your vulnerabilities have been introduced. And this will also help your security teams or development teams to engage in a better way, because maybe that your development teams get too many requests from your security teams, which also reduce the productivity of your development teams. And with Davis AI score, as you see here, that the criticality, and you can use this, or you can only focus on the important vulnerabilities which has been introduced to your critical applications. And it will also help you to work in a better way, that rather than the silos, or rather than it's each and every vulnerability in your applications. Of course, this is a topic that requires really that deep level analysis of the application and your platform. But this is definitely worth to check if you haven't used it in your Dynatrace environments. And I'm sure your security team will see the value once they check our use cases. So this is basically just wanted to say, as always, with the new features and topics, and to remind our users.
Hmm.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
continue then.
yeah. Thank you for that, Berkan. But yeah, basically the essence of it is all of it is made possible by just deploying the one agent. So no additional code configurations are required. But yeah, you summarized it perfectly. Thank you, Berkan. Okay, let us continue, please. Yes, a nice new feature when it comes to Kubernetes monitoring. Now it's official with the operator version 1.0.0. Officially now, classic full stack is not the recommended deployment type anymore. Now it is the cloud native full stack. Many of you, I'm pretty sure, already know this deployment type. So yeah, basically now it's official. The most important message here nothing is as of now legacy. All of it remains being supported. So basically, all previous available deployments, they will remain accessible, and nothing is um, here pushed into deprecation or legacy. Yeah, just here that the next official step basically was conducted to have it to have the class cloud native full stack mode as the recommended one.
Also, we recommend you to check our migration documentation to see if you really have a good reason to move cloud native full stack, because we know that there are some companies that still use the classic full stack, and it's perfectly fine. These are still accessible. But if you are wondering is there whether there is any good reason to move your cloud native full stack, it's better to check our documentation and see if it matches with your needs, and then you can continue with that migration. Otherwise, you can continue, you can stay with a cloud full stack deployment tab for now. And this is also well explained in documentation. Maybe Milos, could you please open that
Mhm.
part
Yes,
from
of course.
your
Let
section? We
me
don't have
see.
any demo for this, right? It's
Mm,
just
No,
the
these are the
slides.
release notes. Here we go. Yeah, the
Okay, it's
migration
already
guide.
ready to pick up. Okay, perfect.
Maybe we link it down there in the description of the video, just in case.
Okay. I think if you go down here, we see the considerations and implications, right? Exactly. We also have the reasons. We have the possible that implications again. And this is a good, I think, resource for you to analyze with your teams before deciding to move with cloud native full stack. That's the only part I think that's critical for this one.
Hmm.
Okay, we can continue, I think.
All right. I think that was already the last one for today, if not mistaken. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your attention. Please, as usual, feel free to ask any questions and to provide feedback. We have our public forum, the Dynatrace community, and a feedback channel, so please use those channels. Um, of course, there are also webinars, so please continue looking forward to them. You can find them in the Dynatrace University, and of course, our live chat in product assistance, where our Dynatrace One team is happy to help with any technical questions you may have. So, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Milos. As always, thank you for your time and efforts, and see everyone again. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye bye.